Welcome to Make Pods Great Again. I'm your host, John, back with my girl, Nikki. Nikki, how are you?
I am so good. How are you feeling?
I am mostly on the mend. I'm sitting here drinking tea, which we're going to have our guests end our debate on how you pronounce this. But
Okay.
I've had people begging me to have Team Richey on the show. Craig and Jazz, how are you guys doing?
Welcome.
Hey, we're good, thank you. Thanks
All right,
for having us.
So can you guys help with this debate? So somebody sent me this tea. So I got on this rant the other day in my story about tea. I can't, at the time, I couldn't taste anything and I still can't smell anything. And I got on this rant because I couldn't drink coffee, right? And I was being forced to drink tea. And so I heard about it in a big way from everyone in the UK about what a jerk I am for making fun of tea. So 2 days ago, just randomly on my doorstep, a box of tea shows up. Some follower got my home address and sent me a box of proper tea. Right?
Very sweet, but also kind of creepy.
It's a little creepy. And there was no note, no name. No one's claimed credit for it. It's all right. So it's I'm calling it Twinings.
Oh, Twinings.
It's Twinings. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Twinings.
Real life British people confirming what I said.
It's not the cream of the crop, but it's a tea. It's a good tea.
Twinings is a good tea.
Twinings?
No PG tips.
Mm.
Yeah.
Twinings.
Yeah.
Twinings. He didn't believe
Spelling
me.
on it.
Are you adding milk to your tea though, or are you having it black?
No milk. This is a
No, well then you're not having.
Yeah,
Well, first off,
black
all right, we're
tea's
gonna have
not
to stop you
really-
there. All right.
You have
First
to have
off,
milk.
you got to brew it for like a good 15, 20 seconds. Right. Take the bag out. Right, after
Okay.
15, 20 seconds.
Okay.
Then you add
Okay.
like a good decent bit of milk until it goes like a good
A little
color. Not too
splash.
white, not
Just a
too,
little splash of milk.
but like a little bit, and
Yeah.
then you're drinking tea.
is it whole milk?
Yeah.
Whole milk?
Yeah,
Any-
whatever. Yeah.
Whatever milk.
You know, you could
2%.
go for half and half. That
Yeah.
that doesn't even exist in the UK. You know what they did here when John came over? They gave him half whole milk and half skim milk
Yeah, literally.
when he asked for half and half.
All right, give this
What?
to me again. I got to brew it for how long?
Like, leave the bag in for 10 or 15 seconds. Give it a bit of a
You
stir.
can do a minute. Like,
Wow, she likes it
Ooh,
strong.
she likes strong tea. Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You can milk it down. It's
If
so
you're my
much
dad, he
better.
leaves the tea bag in, which
Oh,
is like,
yeah,
you know, a lot of
that's
people are
like-
against that.
I do that.
Don't do that.
Yeah, the tea bag's in this one. I'm not supposed to have the tea bag in there? What the hell?
Well,
Well, it's
Maybe
getting
with
stronger the
green
longer
tea.
it's in there.
Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
green
real
tea.
fruit
Yeah.
tea is different, but like tea that you have milk with, yeah, don't take that
Like a
bag
good
out.
Darjeeling, if you will.
what is that?
What is that?
Oh, it's like black Indian tea.
If I really want to get nerdy, as the sicker I get, the longer I go without shaving my head, I look more and more like Jean-Luc Picard. So I need Earl Grey
Oh yeah. Tea.
That's-
Earl Grey. Hot.
tea. Earl Grey. Hot.
That's a different flavored tea, and it doesn't go well with milk for me. I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is it like slightly? Is it
Mm.
floral or
But-
citrusy?
I did reply to a story the other day, and I was like, look, he was saying tea isn't good, but at certain times,
Oh,
there
no.
is a time, sometimes when you're like, I
Yeah.
want a cup of tea, and you sit down with your cup of tea, right, and you look out the window, you get this
Right.
British breeze of absolute
A
freezingness
little
and
sip in it,
depression,
like,
and you
okay.
just go, this is good, this is.
That's not that bad living in the UK.
No, no.
But yeah, the teas, you got to put the milk in there.
Yeah.
Just a
Weird.
little, even if it's just a little drop. It's like it will literally taste like a different beverage.
Yeah, but it's
I'm-
like putting beans on toast.
See,
I've been having that every day recently in lockdown, and every time Americans are replying to me going, you're putting beans on toast, and I'm like, yes, it's a very common thing to do over here, and it tastes incredible. Why don't you do it?
Beans on toast?
Yep.
I
Yeah.
mean-
Heinz baked beans.
Yeah, in
on
tomato
toast.
sauce,
You know, like green beans.
cheese on the toast, buttered toast, put the beans on top, it melts the cheese, you are in heaven.
Huh. I would try it. I like all of those things. I've just never stacked them in a linear foundation before like
I'll
that.
send you guys some beans. I mean, I'll probably get stopped by customs, but we'll try and send you guys some beans.
what, are the beans different? The Heinz beans different in the UK than they are here in the States? Because we have
I
Heinz
don't
beans.
know. They're in tomato sauce.
Probably.
I mean,
Yeah, are yours
Heinz
in
is like
tomato
2 hours
sauce?
from me.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah.
You should go and personally congratulate them for my breakfast every morning.
I will. I'll drive over there. No.
Okay.
Wait,
No.
so you guys in another, tell us what's going on. Are you guys in another lockdown? And is that
Yeah.
fueling your beans on toast in the mornings? Like what's been going on for
Yeah.
you guys lately?
We are bored.
Oh man.
It's just, yeah, I don't know. We've been in lockdown since last March now, pretty well. We've never been out fully of a lockdown since going into lockdown last March. So I think somebody posted the other day, like it's been 300 days or something since the first lockdown. You've got a little hair there.
We were watching a prison show the other day, right? And I was like, it legit is like kind of getting you used to prison in a way.
Huh.
You know, it's because all the shops close and all you can go to is the supermarket to get your stuff.
I think that's a little bit dramatic.
And that's about it. But it's true, isn't it? And you like stay in your house.
Our house is
You stay in your house, and like they've been fining people for driving 5 miles to go for a walk around here.
Yeah, true story.
Oh, like
Yeah,
you
it's
can't
that
even
crazy.
like you can't like go to the park at the end of the street or
I
something.
mean, yeah, you
Yeah,
should be able
supposed to
to
be
with the
able to.
dog and everything. Yeah,
But there's been a bit of a grey area with what is classed as local. So we have a nice big park, like literally 5 minutes drive from us. But because it's not in our borough, we should really go to this other park. But that's twice as far to drive to. It's only 10 minutes, like it doesn't matter. But the principle is like it makes more sense for it to be like, don't go further than X amount of radius from your house, rather than like, yeah, it just didn't really make sense. And people were being fined for something that wasn't 100%. And
Has the American news been bigging it up? Have you been
no,
like, oh,
we've had our own civil wars to cover
Yeah.
recently,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
no,
It's-
that's why I
it's
ask.
funny
Is like I don't really
Yeah,
know what else is going on. in
We
other
not
places.
only do not fine you for leaving the house, we actually encourage you to storm the Capitol.
Yeah, so
Great.
It's funny because we have some American friends that message and they're like, so like, what does it seem like in America from your guys' perspective? Because obviously everybody's news stations kind of project stuff differently.
totally.
So I just like screenshotted a load of memes that were on my feed and was like, here's my answer in meme form. Like, this is basically what's going on at the moment. She's like, yeah, that's pretty accurate.
yeah, it's
I don't know what we'd
it's
do without memes
memeable.
at this time, to be honest.
Hmm.
But
I'm just waiting for the vaccine to like roll out and everyone get it and me to be able to speak Russian and then we're on a roll.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That would be ideal. Well, you know,
Mhm.
and you would never even know for me
Yeah.
because I already speak Russian, so you wouldn't even know. I can be infected by whatever, and I'm just
Yeah.
seemingly normal.
I just, you know what, honestly, when 2021 hit, I was like, I mean, Jazz and I, very massive party, you should have seen it. We sat there and the fireworks went off on the TV.
the people
And
we
might
went-
not know that you're being sarcastic.
Oh,
No,
sorry.
I get it. I get
Yeah.
it. Giant,
And
yeah,
then we-
huge
and
then literally-
celebration.
Yeah, we cheers glasses and I said, all right, Jazz, I'm going to bed. And she goes, what, is that it? And I go, yep. And that's how we started our 20. But like, you know, leaving 2020 behind, I had this vision that like, 2021 is going to be different. You know, it just started the same. And I'm like, oh, mate, you know, I miss traveling. I miss seeing you guys at events. I miss interacting with the athletes. I miss being in a crowd, you know?
Yeah,
Quite
I
a
think
legit
the
crowd.
first lockdown almost, well, I don't know. For me, it was, I found the previous lockdown worse because we didn't have our own house yet. I struggled with like not having my own space to go to if I needed it or whatever. But there was something somewhat reassuring that the whole world was going through the same thing. Whereas now it's kind of like we're back in lockdown again. There's absolutely no review of the situation until the 22nd of February. So we know that we've got a good couple of weeks left of this, let alone if they extend it to March or then April or whenever it might be. So I think this time we're kind of sat here watching other places in the world just kind of carry on as normal. And I think that is what makes it, you kind of get cabin fever a little bit because you're like, you want to go and do everything, but you can't because, and you know, it's not that we don't understand why we're in lockdown. We appreciate we need to not put stress on the health system and help contain the virus. You know, it's not, we know why we're doing it. It's just obviously frustrating.
Basically, long story short here is that it sucks, but Jazz did house shopping during it, and now we're hopefully nearly buying a new house.
Oh yeah.
That's literally what's happened.
Extravagant move. We've moved into house number 1 during lockdown, and we're in the process of potentially buying house number 2 during lockdown.
Wait, stop it. Hold
Yeah.
on. What? So are you like flipping this house that you're in, or are you just like,
We're
now we
gonna
found
rent
something
it
way
out.
better?
We're gonna big news for the UK people out there. We're dropping our house if you want to live in it.
Oh my
Oh!
God.
Can you
We might
imagine?
put it out, I know.
Yeah, that would be crazy. I'll leave the
That's
hard poo
cool.
pays off sign.
We
Have
we
you-
absolutely love this house, so we don't really want to get rid of it. So we can just about make it work with the new house as well. So and hey, who doesn't need motivation to try and earn some more money so you don't go back.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you
Oh,
go.
I love that. Such a cool idea. You know, my husband and I have been kicking this around for a while, and like coming up to it, like getting into like investment property or figuring out how to like get something small, rent it out, or even like something small for yourself, like far away, like vacation home ish, but you rent it out when you're not there. Like
Yeah.
it's never a bad idea. It's so cool. If you find something you like and you think you can pull it off, like it's never really a bad
Well,
idea.
this house, we saw it, and it's not necessarily the house. Like the house is pretty nice. It's got like a little veranda, which makes you feel like you're in America.
Oh,
Like it
yeah.
literally does for my travels.
Ooh.
I'm like, wow, this feels like America.
We need
It's got a little
swing.
bar in the garden, and it's got a big basement with a train set in it. So I was like, well, you know,
Yeah, it's a cool, like basically it's the location of the house. So the house backs up onto this big park, and it's just, yeah, it's location more than anything.
Yeah.
The garden's bigger for the dog and for entertaining when we can actually have people over.
And did you
Um,
say that you would only buy it if they left the train set for
Yeah.
Craig to play with?
that
Yeah.
was me. Yeah, a lot of trains. I've got a
Yeah.
lot of trains.
The lady was like, so he
Boxes.
has to crawl in down there and he just pops up in the middle and the trains like go around the edge. It's
Oh, that is legit.
I
That's
know.
serious. That's like a
Yeah.
serious
Actually pretty cool.
collector.
yeah.
I don't know where he's going to put them all in his new place, but
I know.
Damn.
Hello, Carla.
yeah,
What's
it's
what's
pretty
the home gym situation going to look like in the new
Yeah.
house?
The garage is a tiny bit bigger, but I mean, UK garages aren't that big. Like it's closer to the box. It's only like 5 minutes from the box. So I'm not going to do anything crazy. It's just going to be a little bit bigger than
We
the
said
one at
that with
home.
this one though, and now we have pretty much everything in this one.
Yeah, we do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like
Mhm.
the size of a postage
It's
stamp.
not, you know what, honestly though, having the home gym is great. Like I love it, and I'm very thankful for having it. But sometimes in lockdown, when you're not leaving the house and stuff, it's really hard just to get yourself amped to go in there and do a workout when it's like -10.
Yeah. Like, yeah, training at the box is just so much easier because like you go there and then once you're there, you're just like, well, I'm here now, I might as well get it done. And like you've got other people around you. Like me and Craig do try and motivate each other, but obviously it is difficult sometimes. And also when you're at home, it's like, you know, it's warm, the sofa's upstairs, you can just cuddle up with the puppy. And
We did a workout
Mhm.
the other day, and it was 8 rounds, and 4 rounds in, we passed each other at exactly the same time and said, I don't want to do any more rounds.
I
But
would
we
like to
did
be
a- we
done
did a
now.
leg.
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
still
we did a
carried
leg.
on.
Yeah, we did a like,
Yeah.
Huh.
But, it's yeah, very grateful that we do have it, especially in under the circumstances. If you think about it, like last March we thought, oh, maybe it would just be a 3-week thing, and
Mm.
now it's January 2021 and we're still in the same situation, probably in a worse situation actually, looking at our figures in the news every day. But
Yeah. And
Is
now
what it
kettlebells cost about $3,000 each. So at least you've got what
Yeah.
you need already
No,
in your
no.
home
Oh,
gym.
wow.
You can get them at Best Buy now, Nikki.
yeah, but then
Oh
we
my
shipped
God.
into
Do
the
you know
UK.
how I know that? I saw that on Joel's Facebook the other day, or Instagram the other
Yeah,
day, that he got them from Best Buy, but they had a Get RX logo on them.
yeah. You can absolutely. I was looking them up this morning. You can. It's
super
amazing who's
cool.
starting to sell fitness equipment now because of the
Can you
pandemic.
get dumbbells there? Can I get a Concept 2 bike there?
You
I'm
cannot get it.
asking for a
It comes
friend.
up to your bike.
No, but the
To be fair,
skier,
in
the
our
skiers.
supermarkets you can get gym equipment like
Yeah.
kettlebells
At
and
the
dumbbells and
s-
stuff. But
At the supermarket? Is that what you said?
yeah.
What?
Yeah. They're like the Tesco superstores and whatever. There's a little mini gym section. You might find 1 or 2 dumbbells there.
I've not
Oh
been
my
to the
God.
supermarket since this started.
Yeah. I mean, you never used to go food shopping anyway. You did sometimes, but yeah, Craig's not
Oh.
entered a supermarket in a good 9 months.
I'm just not as good at like, you know, like sanitizing my hands, and like I'll pick my nose. So then Jazz is like, look, I'll do it. So then you don't end up screwing this for the both of us.
Jazz is like, could you run by the supermarket, hun? And you're like, oh, you're just so good at it though.
Yeah, yeah.
Literally,
Good at-
that's basically. I mean, that's my life in one short conversation right there.
Look, if the pandemic goes on any longer, you're gonna really start to run out of material. So maybe you need to take Craig to the supermarket, make
Yeah.
that an
Oh my
episode.
word.
Oh my
What a
God.
video.
I know.
It is hard making content in these times, for sure.
Yeah.
I was gonna
Like,
ask
I
that.
don't know how I've managed it, to be honest. Like I just take it day by day, and like things come out, and you can add memes in to like buffer out the video, because I like memes anyway and they make us laugh. But it's like it's been a challenge for sure.
Did you message Matt and say, hey Matt, is there anybody else not talking to you could bring up just to give me more content? Just to give me more content.
Matt and I, to be honest, talk quite a lot. Like Jazz talks to Sammy quite a lot. I'd say Matt is one of the, like, to me, he's one of the most genuine dudes in the sport. Like he's one of the people that when this all started and like throughout it has been probably the one to reach out to us the most, him and Sammy, just checking in. which has been pretty cool.
What was your take on all the drama last week?
It's just a misunderstanding, and I'm not going to go too much into it. Like, it was a misunderstanding, and like they went and sorted it out, and I've heard the story of them sorting it out and stuff, but it's just like, it's a misunderstanding that then got carried away, you know, and then it's just, before you know it, you're 2 years down the line, and every little thing that someone else does is then, oh, are they doing that because of this?
Yeah.
Are they doing that because, and then it's just, it was good though. Did you see how many likes the photos got?
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things, like the beef was already there regardless of if anything ever did happen between them, just due to the nature of one chasing the other's previous achievement. Do you know what I mean? So even if nothing had ever happened, there was always going to be that natural thing within the competitive space of like, oh, Fronin versus Fraser, like it's always been there, even before any of this came to light. So I think, from what we've heard, what needed to be apologized for was apologized for, whatever was misunderstood has been ironed out, and I think they're kind of
well, I'd just like to say that Matt has not talked to me in 2.5 years either, and I'm kind of pissed about it.
Yeah, I'll reach out to him and ask him.
I think I was like the only person on the planet that like just didn't care. I was like, like, what are we? Okay, so these guys have to like figure some shit out. Like, okay, like, why are we blowing this up? I don't know. I mean, I get like at the same time, like, if
two greatest, you know.
No, and in fairness, like when Matt talked about it on that podcast, like if it was something that was bothering him, then that's like totally valid. I'm not saying that it's not a thing. I just was like, I really don't want to like dig into both of these guys' personal shit. Like, can we just let them figure it out and like call it a day?
Yeah,
I don't
and
know.
also like if they didn't want to get on, that's also fine.
Right, like they don't have to be best friends. Just let them.
Exactly.
Yeah,
like I'm not a hater, but you know, I'm sure there's people that I've come across in life that I'm like, I'm not too fond of you.
Yeah, she lets me know.
You're not
too.
my favorite person. But...
Right, she gonna tell him.
I'm just waiting for the Josh Bridges Castro fight to properly be announced. Those two are bantering each other for so long. I'm like, right, you can't go that far without not doing it now.
That would be actually amazing if that came.
They're having so much fun. It's like actually making me laugh how genius Dave Castro has been on his.
Yeah, they need to keep doing it too for my content.
Oh, good. Yeah, providing you something to chat about, of course.
I'd like to referee it, to be honest. I'll put my hat in the ring for the referee spot.
Ooh.
Or like a ring announcer. You know, let's get ready to watch Dave Castro get knocked out by Josh Bridges.
I don't know. I actually don't know who I'd put my money on, if I can be totally honest.
I just think Josh got the fitness edge. And I think he's a bit more aggressive.
I don't know. Dave's scrappy. And he's got so much experience, you know, like you can't rule him out. You totally can't.
Bridges would be so nimble. Like he could just be like, and then he's just like as if he was never there, you know.
Yeah. I know, but Dave's so smart. Like he's already thought through every possibility.
Yeah, but a couple of punches later, that smartness is completely gone.
I don't know.
It'd be a tough one.
It would.
In fact, the only way for us to know would be for them to do it. So
I think it has to happen.
It has to happen now.
Wow.
Well, I know that
for too long.
I was gonna say content wise, I know it's been tough and they should definitely do that for future content. But Craig, you took dipped your toe into the gaming world a little bit. Rounding out some of your content recently. How's that been going?
I wouldn't even say I dipped my toe into it, to be honest. I started Twitch. I did it for a month. It went all right, and then I realized I was terrible at gaming. I invest, I must say. Probably.
How much
but hold on. I've probably got it on my thing. It can usually tell you how long you've played this week.
What's it called? A scuff controller?
Yeah, but that's good, that is.
He bought this. He bought this very microphone. He spent some money on it. He was like, "Don't worry, I'm going to earn this back through my streaming."
This is not good, right? So my Warzone career, which is the game I play, Call of Duty Warzone online. It's like a battle royale thing, last man standing sort of thing. But I do it with my friends, so I use it as socializing. Because usually there's a team of 4, so 3 of us are bantering each other, blah blah blah. I've spent on it 366 hours.
Holy crap!
Oh my God!
You know how people
this week. During lockdown, when there's nothing else to do,
what day is it? Friday. Yeah.
I've spent 36 hours
in a week.
The last 7 days. In the last 7 days. That's like a full-time job, you know.
It's a full-time job.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, you are. The progression has been painfully slow.
Oh god.
Yeah, but one game takes about half an hour, right? So I told you I was one more game, and then you get killed pretty quick, so only 20 minutes maybe, and you're like, oh, maybe one more game. And then before you know it, that's 2 hours gone already, and then that's it, isn't it?
One more game is like the quote of the last 12 months, to be honest.
I feel like
But then
there's
people message and they're like, oh, you know, there's all those memes going around about everyone's boyfriends on Call of Duty and like, oh, like, how do you put up with him being on there for so long? Honestly, there are a lot worse things that guys can be doing rather than sat upstairs playing a stupid game with their friends. So I was just like, it's fine. Me and Carla just go and chill downstairs, watch a bit of TV. It's nice. Do you know what's funny?
I totally agree. I actually love it because my husband is also a big gamer. Well, in fairness, both of us are big gamers, but I'm like a console gamer and he's more of a PC guy.
Console.
Though we did get Oculus for his birthday this year. I say we got it. I got it for him, but I got 2 headsets for him for his birthday in December. So we've been having a ton of fun with that. But no, same kind of thing. So he sits on his computer and plays with his buddies. And I love it because it's like, you're right. Like it's their little chance to socialize and they don't live near us. And so I like love that he has a chance to like the way that I would like get on the phone and chat with my girlfriends or like we'd like go get our nails done together or whatever. Like they kind of just sit and play games together. So at the end of every night, I'm like, how are your boyfriends? Did you guys talk about? Did you have fun?
Yeah, that's the same with us because we obviously used to live down with Craig's dad. So we were close to kind of Craig's friends and family, but away from mine. And we never used to see his friends at all because I don't know, boys are boys, you know what it's like. And then
incapable of planning anything. That's what it's like. You can say it out loud. Boys are incapable of planning things like getting a chance to see each other. Go on.
That is a true story. But now that we've moved back, obviously I now can't see my friends, but when I could do, like I can just nip out and see whoever. And he catches up with his friends for a good 2-3 hours every night because he's on his game. So it actually works out. You're more sociable now.
It's not like fully catching up. Like sometimes you're screaming at them, sometimes you're like, boys, come on. Like, what the are you doing here? Right. So it's not always catching up. Sometimes you leave and you go,
it's also made me realize that boys are way bitchier than girls.
No.
Oh, totally. Man, what are you doing? You know, you're
did you see
attention.
him? Did you see the way that he did that? I told you to go up the ladder. And I'm just like, oh my days, literally, what is going on?
They have goals, Jazz. They got to get there. They got to get in. They got to get their shit done. And then they got to start a new game. Okay. It's a big
there's 150 people dropping the map, right? And you're in teams of 4, right? You've got to survive to be number 1. We've only got 1 win this year. I'm not happy about that. 8 days.
36 hours this week.
36 hours this week, and I've got 1 win.
It was that 1 win in your like 300
No.
hours? Oh, okay.
There's about 30 in there. About 30 in there.
It's not a great ratio.
So like once a week, maybe you'll win.
Yeah, maybe.
Not even that. I'm sure. Yeah, see? Nicole's cringing.
Look, you can't PR your lifts every week.
Oh wow.
Craig, this is a big investment and commitment for very little return.
I'm just like, that's why I can't watch him anymore, because otherwise I'm just like, pretend this is real life. You're just wandering around like a headless chicken.
No,
you just get shot. And I'm just
we're
like,
opening a different can of worms here. I've given Jazz the controller, right? And all she's done all game is look up at the sky. She can't figure out the controller, so she'll just run around looking at the sky. And then when, obviously, she's backseat driver when I'm playing.
This is a true story. I'm terrible at gaming. I'm not even gonna lie. But I still came 18th because I dropped like in the middle of the woods and no one could find me.
Maybe that's a strategy.
I know.
Maybe you just run around and make sure no one can find you to kill you. Yeah.
You can't find yourself, no one can find you.
Well, also true.
Well,
yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
But yeah, you need to improve. I think my quote of 2020 is probably there's no gulag in real life.
Yeah.
It's probably what I scream at Craig the most.
Very true.
Play the game like it's real life, Craig.
We have the opposite here when no one will play like the Nintendo Switch with me because everyone else is really sick of losing. So they like
you're just too good.
I'm just too good. They'll like boot me from the game. And it's like a bummer because I grew up with an older brother playing video games like my whole life. It's like what I did, it's what I do. So nowadays, everyone's like, oh, let's hop on Mario Kart. And I'm like, yeah, let's go. And Matt's like, I don't play if Nikki's playing.
Nice. You know what you need to do though with that talent is there's so much money in gaming compared to CrossFit or anything else. You need to get on Fortnite and you need to win the championships. $3 million, easy. All you got to do is slay a load of 14-year-olds.
Win like millions.
Yeah, isn't that wild? And there's a huge industry around it, like just from a marketing and events standpoint, which is like my big girl job, I have some friends that work in Fortnite, like gaming, like but back obviously before quarantine when they could like get people together in arenas. And there is an insane like economic system around that entire thing where people go to tournaments and they fill in stadiums and they win all these cash prizes. It's wild. And you're right. They're like 14. Insane.
So we've been on here for like half an hour, and I think collectively we've decided that CrossFit is not the sport for us.
A lot of effort, not a lot of output.
Look, every sport pays better than CrossFit. That's a fact. Every single time. I was watching, I went home to see my parents. They live in the deep South. My dad basically watches two things. He watches Lifetime movies and he watches bass fishing. All right. And it's what Southerners do. Anyway, so there's some bass fishing tournament on, and they're like, so-and-so finished 50th, yearly earnings $700,000. I'm like, all right, this jackass is 50th. And this isn't even like in the world. This is just in whatever their little league is, right? 50th, $700,000. So I'm like, what's number one earn? So I Googled the guy, and the number one earning guy was like $7 million to catch fish. I'm like, what are we doing with our lives? Like, quit lifting weights, just start fishing.
You know the pain you go through when you're
That's
doing thrusters
amazing.
and pull-ups? Like sometimes I do question it. I'm like, what am I doing?
Sometimes
Yeah.
every day I question it. Every goddamn day of my life
Why
I
do
walk
we
into
do
the
this?
gym and I'm
You
like,
know
what
that
am I doing?
The people that say they like thrusters and burpees, there's two types of people in the world, isn't there? There's like people that say that they like thrusters and burpees and they're liars. That's like there's no in between. You don't
The
like
amount
them.
of times that I've said to you mid-workout, this is supposed to be fun.
Yeah, why are we doing
Oh,
this?
I hear that every time I do a post about the assault bike, inevitably someone goes, I love the assault bike. No, you don't, asshole. You don't love, nobody loves it.
No.
I love that I did it.
Yeah, that's
wow,
better.
no, sometimes not even that. You know, like when you do like that, like the recent one, the 50 cows per time on the Echo bike. If
No,
you
that
went
doesn't
for
count.
that. Like if you full on went for it, like I've done 50 cows per time once before, and like just the normal assault bike, I did it in like 50 seconds. I couldn't recover for like 4 hours.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, there's no feeling good after that. There's like, you are a dribbling mess.
Yep.
Right? That's not fun.
I did
Here,
it once. I did it once at Mentality at Scott's gym, and he programmed it first and then had a workout afterwards, right?
Nope.
I'd never done it before. So I go in and do it. And I think I did it like a minute 30, minute 40 or something, thinking I just like cured cancer. I'd gone so hard. And then I had to skip the second part of the workout because about 5 minutes later, I was dying. And to your point, I wasn't right for like 4 hours.
Yeah.
Like literally just waddling around. Got
No,
that
honestly.
like feeling like you're going to throw up for like at least an hour. Oh
That's
my
like one of
God.
my favorite things though, you know, like, you know, when this 50 cow Echo bike challenge came out, people are like, when are you going to do it? And I'm like, dude, I've done it before. Leave it to the big dogs and the people that are new to the sport. Because when you're new to the sport, you're like 50 cows. Yeah, come on then. I got this. Once you do it once, you're like, never again.
Yeah.
No, I'm all set. Here, I got one for you. I just did this one last week at the gym. It's 10 cals on the assault bike for the ladies. So that what is that for the dudes? Like
Probably like
14,
13 or 14.
maybe 13 or
Yeah.
14. And then 35 double unders every 2 minutes for 5 minutes. Or for
As
5
like a
rounds,
sprint?
rather.
Like
Yeah, it's a sprint.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a sprint, yeah.
10 quick cows, 35 double unders every 2 minutes. Just do it. Just do it. That's a CrossFit
I did that Matt
Windrose
Fraser workout.
special.
It was bad.
We
It
need
was
to
like
wait
20
until our
cows every
boxes
2
are back
minutes.
open, 'cause we haven't got an assault bike.
20 cows every 2 minutes for 5 rounds. That's it, like a full-blown sprint. You're sprinting for like 14 seconds at a time. But and like obviously added up over 5 rounds, it's literally less than a minute and 10 minutes. And
It doesn't
horrendous.
matter. It doesn't matter. It's wild. I hate it.
Yeah.
No, but you're right. Like overall, I think you're absolutely correct, Jazz, that we're not in the money making area. We gotta think of something else, guys. Or
Yeah.
maybe, you know what? Hold on. I shouldn't say that just yet until I mention that John, I mean, you did come in second in the Open last year. And
Woo!
and I'm just gonna ask, have you registered yet for this year's Open?
I did. I registered.
And-
Yeah.
What division did you choose?
You don't pick divisions until you actually compete. I'm waiting to see how quickly I recover from this. So everyone keeps telling me that the thing that's going to be hardest to recover from the coronavirus is the cardio aspect, but I have not had the
Oh.
respiratory problems that others have. So I
Yeah.
think my cardio is going to be fine, and if it is, I'm going to RX. If
You guys,
if-
this is momentous.
Yeah.
This is a big deal.
I'm in the
John
same
is
age
not
division.
RS.
Select,
Hey.
do you have to select like full equipment or no equipment when you register? Because we haven't registered just yet because we're in lockdown. We
I
don't
think you
know
have to
obviously
select.
when.
I think it'll be just like years past where you just
just
log your
yeah.
score and it'll
Okay.
Oh,
rank
cool.
you. But
Yeah,
I
'cause
could
was
I
gonna
could be
say,
wrong.
If there's any kind of like pre-selection so they can sort the like leaderboards out or whatever it might be, like not that I need to worry about qualifying for the games personally, but yeah, just because obviously we don't know, like home we don't actually have a plyo box, but yeah, logistically trying to do that might be a bit of an issue, but we'll
In a
cross that
British
bridge when it
home
comes
doing
to
double
it.
unders is like, you got to be careful, man.
We've got to be outside. There's no way you'd
Yeah,
do
you're
double
going to do
unders.
double in the house.
No.
Yeah, but what's it going to be like outside in March?
Cold.
Yeah.
Probably
Baltic.
cold, probably wet.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
windy. I mean, we might have a heat wave. Who knows? You never know in this place.
I'll still take
Well,
the top off.
I am a little
That's the
concerned
rule.
because there's no rower, no wall balls. And for those of us that are not 5'4", that sucks. Like I want the tall man's implements. I want to do wall balls. I want to row, and they're not
Yeah.
going to be in. So that kind of sucks. But
What else do you need other than a box? A pull-up bar?
Yeah,
Is there a
double
pull-up
unders,
bar?
a bar, and
a dumbbell.
See, the other thing, the pull-up bar, Craig has fitted it outside for what can only be described as a substantial giant. I have to use not one, but 2 cushioned boxes to jump up to the. It's literally, I swear, it's like 12 foot in the air. Like it's
What?
really high. I need a small ladder to reach our pull-up bar,
Craig,
which
why?
is wasted time.
she needs
I
a small
know.
ladder to get to the top cupboards. All right, it's just
Well,
part of being
But
small.
why did you do this?
I don't know.
But it's just where we could put it within the brick, I think.
He has this really tiny chip on his shoulder that's the not quite 6 foot club.
Yeah, I'm
So
literally
he's
like
just
half a
trying
foot
to-
under.
Half a foot under.
Yeah,
Half of
is that not the right thing? Half a
Inch.
half an
inch
inch.
under.
Half an inch.
Yeah,
Half
an
a
inch.
foot under.
I think that maybe he just didn't want anyone else to touch it. And he was like, if I put it
Yeah.
way up here, Jazz is
Yeah.
never gonna go through the stacking
Maybe.
of boxes to go on and get it.
Yeah.
Quite possibly.
Uh,
But yeah,
Do you,
it will be fun if we have to end up doing that at home. We'll be running from the garage into the kitchen probably to do something, then outside to the pull-up bar, then just like, I mean, transitions will be, something like we've never seen before.
Well, I'll have to move
Damn.
equipment. To be honest, if I end up having to do this at home because of the pandemic, I'll have to move stuff upstairs because I can't do double unders in the basement.
oh,
Yeah.
right.
So that'll suck. Oh,
Yeah.
well. Damn it.
That is
Oh.
interesting. I didn't even really think about that. I feel like such an asshole every time we have this conversation because since I coach at the gym, I have a key. So we've never
Yeah.
really been gymless. Even when we were in full lockdown, we would go Matt and I, we'd be alone, but we
Yeah.
would just like pop into the gym by ourselves.
I
So
love the gym. I do
I
love the gym.
know.
Yeah, it's just less space. Like you can't even we can lift in the garage, but
If you
It's a little
drop
bit
it one way or
claustrophobic.
another, you're either going through the wall or you're breaking the runner. Like
Yeah.
there's no like, and I ain't about
Yeah.
to do that.
No, I get what you're saying. And even Jazz, what you said earlier about like just the fact that you're there, like you put in the effort to get out of your house, like you put pants on, you put shoes on,
God
some
forbid.
shit's going to go down. Like something's going to happen. And when you're at home,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I'll just wear the same sweatpants I slept in last night. And it
yeah.
doesn't really feel, you're not super motivated to like do anything.
Oh, I don't. No. I don't do that. I get dressed up for the basement. I love
Well, but you
myself.
have
I
like
want to make
you have
sure
like
I
a
look good.
gym. Yeah, you have like a space.
It's still just
For
me.
us, like, I don't know. Like I have my uncle's shitty ass treadmill in the basement that's like 15 years old and the assault bike and like an ab mat. This is basically the extent of our home gym. And when we go downstairs, it's like not a gym. It's like the mudroom. So like Matt and I like kind of half get dressed to go to the mudroom and we get down there and we're like,
Oh, not me. I got to be matchy. Got to have the
we
good
still get
shoes
dressed to
on.
train, don't we?
Yeah.
We're the same. Yeah, we just get dressed as if we're going to the box and we're like,
Yeah.
right, let's go. We have to be prepared because we have to turn the heater on,
Yeah.
the little tiny heater in the garage because it's like freezing in there. We have to be organized, turn it on 10 minutes before we want to start training.
Yeah. You can't go in there without the little heater on. It just
Oh, it's
you,
so
whoa,
cold. So
not
cold.
going to happen.
Although to be fair, the box is freezing at the moment as well.
Yeah, true.
Like, yeah, right before we went into lockdown, like seeing your breath mid-workout, it really does put you off somewhat.
I can't do it. I'm such a bitch when it comes to that stuff. I can't. I'm like, and I can't hold on to the pull-up bar. My hands are cold.
I know, but you will struggle to find a box in the UK that has got heating.
Mm.
I know
What?
Vorodox in London has heating. Yeah, they just don't heat them.
It's in a warehouse, man. We work hard.
Yeah.
We're grinding every day.
We have that here, like with AC. Like you struggle to find a box with like legitimate air conditioning in the summer because they just open the bay doors and put fans
Yeah,
on.
it
But
must
we
be
have
rough,
heat.
eh?
We have heat
Yeah.
because it's 10 degrees out right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. See,
Guys.
I think because we're the middle ground, like Iceland and Sweden and places like that that are super cold, they have heated boxes. And then in the US, because you kind of get both extreme cold and extreme heat, you kind of have the fans and the heating system. Whereas because we're that kind of middle ground where it's just like, you just kind of got to get on with it. No one's going to spend that money for you, I'm afraid. You
You're
just
like
got to kind
basically
of
like-
crack on.
It's always shitty here all the time. So
Yeah,
the
just
weather
like-
is always crap. You're
Why
really
drink
selling
tea?
me on the
Pretend.
UK, you
We
guys.
drink tea.
We
And we
actually
drink tea.
ironically had the best summer that I can ever remember last year.
Yeah.
It's like the longest that we've had sun for.
Honestly, it
in
was sun for
ever.
like 3 days.
Wow, that's a new record.
No, it was quite a while, yeah. It must have been a couple of weeks. Yeah.
That's
It was
awesome.
good. We were tanning, swimming in the river. It was amazing.
Damn.
Yeah.
So what kind of plans do you guys have now that it's 2021 for hustle for your company?
We have a coffee company coming because I love coffee. And then
Oh my God,
like,
that's right.
Yes.
Hustle Made Coffee Company is coming in the next 3 months. The bag design is so cool. Like
Yeah,
we've been
it's very
working on the bag design
exciting.
for a while.
We've
and-
done a few testings.
Yeah, a lot of bean testing. We have one of our friends, Josh. He's like super coffee. He has like 20 books on coffee. And he's like, he has this machine and he has to roast it properly. If it doesn't taste quite right, he's like, hold on a second. I didn't do the beans right. The timer wasn't right. The weight wasn't good. The ground wasn't come out. That's not the proper taste. So we did that for like a long time and we tested them and we kept testing them. And then we got more blends and kept testing them. And now we've got to the point where we found our one that we like. We found a guest blend and we're like, this is it. Now I'll just put it in my bean to cup machine. And it's legit.
Awesome.
It's exciting. Nothing's completely set in stone yet, but we're getting there with that one. So it's exciting to have like a new project on the card. Seems as though obviously for us, for the foreseeable future, we aren't able to travel and I don't really know what's going on with competitions and everything at the moment anyway. So yeah, it's nice to have a new little project. And then the clothing brand as well has gone really well. We've had a load of new additions towards the end of last year that you guys are wearing.
Yes.
The wonderful hoodies we have there. Yeah, we've got again a load of new stuff in the pipeline. Fingers crossed the next launch will be around March, April time. Chinese New Year always throws us off a little bit. We do get after moving production
Like they
over
closed
there.
factories for like 2 months.
Yeah,
it's like
no, I know because I work
over
in
6
like
weeks.
mental.
yeah, I work in D2C ecom, and so a lot of the brands that I work with have a ton of stuff made over there, and same kind of thing. We've had to have orders in like 2 weeks ago, and everything will be closed for the next 2
Yeah.
months. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's so
crazy.
interesting.
I mean, it's kind of like it's good and bad. Like the clothing is incredible because of moving production over there. Like everything is absolutely every part of the design, the material, the fit, the cut, everything is complete bespoke made to order. So everything is our own template now. But
It's
then
crazy,
you do
though.
have to kind of time scale these
Mhm.
things in, like Chinese New Year and all the rest of it.
It's crazy having a brand that, like, I mean, it's got like 80,000 followers on Instagram, like organic followers, which is just insane. And like when we go to competitions and stuff and you see people in it, you can always tell like when they bought the stuff from, because you can kind of see when we first started off, when we just printed on stuff that we could just get in the UK, and you're like,
Yep.
I know this person, he's an OG. And then you go from that to then like it looks simple, right? You just look at clothes and you're like, wow, well, it must be simple just to make that. But when you actually go through
clothes.
all of the process, it takes ages. And when you want to sample something, it's like, well, okay, that's your first sample. I want a second sample. That'll probably be another 4 weeks. And I need a third sample. That's another 4 weeks. And people are like, when are the clothes coming? You're like, well, I'm trying to get the sample right. And it's taken us 6 months to get this one thing right. It's crazy when you actually like look at it.
Yeah. And
It's exciting though. Like we've learned a lot as we've gone along. Like it's neither mine or Craig's kind of previous, we don't really have any previous knowledge in it. Everything that we've done over the last 3 years towards the brand, we've kind of taught ourselves. like just kind of learned as we've gone along. So it's been an exciting process.
Yeah. It's been a hard one though. You know, like it's not easy. It really isn't.
Yeah.
When you first look at
No.
it, it's overwhelming. You're like, right, I just want a nice jacket. And then you're like, where do I get this nice jacket from? Yeah.
Yeah, it's so much. And you don't realize that you need to learn all these different fields that are in and of themselves, like full-time professions. Like, oh, supply chain management, cool. Like, oh, production, cool. Like, oh, like very specific, like design, not just regular design. Like, oh, I know aesthetics and I know what I want or whatever, but like no clothing design and production design are like their own
Yeah.
things. Like it's all of these things are legitimate full-time professions that if you guys are picking it all up on your own, like that's number one, really hard. Number two, really impressive. Like good job for evolving with what you
Well,
need
you know,
in
the
order to make
very
it happen.
first launch that, in fact, the very first 2 launches that we did, we actually packed and shipped out ourselves every single order from Jeff's house.
We
which
filled
was-
his whole living room,
Yeah,
gym, downstairs, upstairs
the whole
with
house.
boxes because we got
We had no
overwhelmed with
idea
orders, which was amazing.
how many we were going to sell, and then obviously when it went crazy, which is a good thing, we didn't even just simple like little things. Obviously, you know, when we first started out, we printed kind of blank stock rather than having our own custom clothes or whatever. But even things like delabeling the clothes or folding the clothes or bagging the clothes at the time, because like we had no collateral to start it, so we were like, no, we'll do it, it's fine. Oh my word, it took us 3 full days just to get the clothes ready to the point at which we could start packing the orders. And it's like, but it's one of those things that I always thought at the time when I was starting to get tennis elbow from the continuous folding of t-shirts for hours and hours on end. I was like, one day we will look back at this and we'll be like, I'm pleased that we did this because I now fully appreciate this aspect of the business. And I 100% do now. And I know Craig does as well, because like there's only, it looks like a small cost in association with like one garment, but then obviously cumulatively over a whole launch, it can be, you know, X amount of expense, but you will pay that because of the time. Like imagine if you tried to do that yourself now. I mean, it would just be insane. But yeah, like I say, now everything's kind of custom made to order, and still a few teething issues with kind of learning, you know, trying to streamline the sampling process a bit more. And
it's kind of like the vlog though too, you know, like the vlog started off with no collateral. My grandpa bought my first camera for me because I was like, dude, I can't afford this camera. And he was like, all right, I'll get it. And then we drove around the country loads with no one watching, and then you just keep going and keep going and keep going, and then it usually goes pretty well.
Yeah.
Does it feel surreal though, like going to the events? Like I text or DM Craig all the time when I go to an event, and it's just packed with hustle gear. Like people just walking around everywhere wearing this
It's
stuff.
really cool.
The most crazy one was Strength and Depth, because obviously it's UK, and a lot of our audience are UK and America. But when we went to Strength and Depth, obviously because it's like the whole UK CrossFit scene go there, it was just a sea of hustle, and it's mental. But then it makes me happy, because when I came up with the brand, I was just like, Hustle Made is like what Jazz and I have gone through. Like you just hustling, and you like that's what makes you. So that's what I wanted the brand to be for, and people are the same, you know. Whether if they're like going to the gym or if they're in business or whatever, like you hustle for yourself, you know. And that's what a lot of people, I think, buy into the brand, not just because it's like it's nice clothes, it's because it has a meaning behind it. So I wanted something that had a meaning.
I love that. I think it's cool to recognize or realize like down the line, once you've like, you know, made it, or at least made it quote unquote to the point where you see people wearing it, is like people are really identifying with what you've developed as a overall vibe. Like that's the coolest part to me. Like, yeah, people buy stuff that because it looks cool or because it's in the color scheme they like. But like when it's like a real simple, clean aesthetic, the reason that people are buying it is because they identify with it. That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
What would my brand be? Meme Made? Is that what I need to be?
Yeah.
Meme hustle.
Meme made, sarcasm.
Hustle meme.
Hustle meme.
Well,
Made.
I remember when I first started sharing your memes, and everyone thought it was my page.
Oh, this is a true. I've
And
told
I
the
was
story
like,
before.
no, Craig isn't that funny.
True.
So this is a true story. When the first time you shared me, a friend of mine who was he messaged me and goes, "Hey, you got shared on Team Richey today." I'm like, well, "What the hell's Team Richey? I don't know what that is." You know, he's like, "Oh, it's a YouTuber." He's a YouTuber, but I really follow because of Jazz. I'm like, "What's a Jazz?"
Nice.
What's a Jazz?
Yeah. So
Do you like
so
jazz?
I flipped over and you had shared one of my memes and you gave me a straight up shout out. It's one of the rare times anyone had ever done that. Like, you said, "Hey, follow Make What's Great Again." And for a day, I felt like a Kardashian. I got like so many followers that day. I was losing my mind. I
Wow.
think I got like 1,000 followers in a day. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? Like, holy crap. And so I messaged you and thanked you for it. And we've kind of talked ever since. And it's been kind of a really funny ride because there was a moment there for about, I don't know, maybe 6 months to a year when no one knew who I was because I hadn't shown my face or anything. And
Oh
people
yeah,
thought,
back when you were
yeah,
still a mystery.
yeah. So
Yeah,
people thought it
kept
was
messaging
Craig.
me saying, "Is it you?" And I'm like, "Nah, share his memes, but it doesn't mean it's me."
It doesn't, yeah. Fun fact, if we're going down memory lane. So Craig and Jazz are the reason that all of Canada hates me.
True.
Oh, yeah, well, that was a
Uh-huh.
lot more. Like, to be honest, I couldn't understand it. Like, people took offense. To me, it didn't mean anything
Oh
what
my
you
God.
said.
No, honestly, to me, it didn't either. But I just think it's funny because now it's a running joke, really only on this podcast. I don't think the rest of the world even gives a shit anymore, much like the Froning Fraser feud.
Yeah.
But for 5 minutes, it was actually really funny because on every post that I would make on Instagram, John would get into the comments and be like, "Why do you hate Tim Hortons?"
Yes. Why do you hate Canada, Nikki? Jesus. What'd they ever
Dubai
do
was
to
good
you?
though. That was a good. Like, I love Dubai when we were in Dubai. Wow, what a
Ugh,
place.
Same. One of the biggest, I mean, I miss competitions. I miss everything. 2020 sucked on so many levels for the CrossFit competitive space, but probably my biggest like heartbreak was not being able to go back to Dubai. It would have been my 4th year in a
Yeah.
row. And I just love it over there so
They look
much.
after you so well there.
They do.
It's crazy. Is there anything we can do for you? And I jokingly said, "Can I have a Lambo for the day?" And they were like, yeah, sure. And I was like, "Are you sure?" And they were like, yeah, we'll get you a Lambo. And then I got a speeding ticket. But like,
Ooh, ugh.
well, no, they took us out to this road. They said, "Don't worry about it." We drove out to this road and they were like, "Right," pulled us over in the middle of the desert, right? Random road in the middle of the desert. Like, right. They were like, "You can floor it here." So what do? I pull out and I floor it. And then they obviously go, "Oh," but I'm mid-flooring. And then I guess that a flash goes off and I obviously set off the speeding ticket. They said, "Don't worry, we put money on the car. There's no issues." But I was like, had to happen, didn't it?
Typical.
Yeah, totally did.
Literally, we didn't
So
see one
funny.
other speed camera anywhere. It was just that one. And like we could have been driving on the face of the moon. We were literally in the middle of nowhere.
Hmm.
It has
It
made
was-
me want a Lambo though. So like one of my things is right with goals and whatnot is obviously I want to do well at CrossFit. I'm not bothered about going to the games or anything. But in terms of like being an influencer and like with the brands and everything, I've got a page open all of the time on my browser of a black Lamborghini with red brake calipers, right? And I'm like, one day, Jazz, we will buy this. And that's
Okay.
what keeps me going sometimes.
I love that. I love
Gives me a bit of
setting like
motivation.
big goals for yourself like that. That's when
Actually,
you
do
know.
you have any idea how expensive these things are? This
Yes.
is a big goal. This is more
Yeah.
than a house.
Well, Craig, you always do that though. Or you told me once when I first started my page, you just said visualize it and you'll get there. That's kind of always been your mantra, right?
A lot of people say that though, like a lot, like you look at all of the people that have quote unquote made it. Like I don't feel like we made it. I just feel like we're the same people and just living life because you just got to have fun with it. But a lot of people say visualize and you'll succeed. And like I've always visualized like being an influencer, even when we were getting no views, and it's like happening. But I just think it's consistency, honestly. Like if you believe in yourself and you just keep going and you feel like you value what you're putting out and you're just a nice guy and a nice lady, then you'll do well. The thing that I see the most in YouTube, like a lot of people come up to us and they're like, "We want to be YouTubers." And I'm like, I want you to be a YouTuber too, And it's more the fact that you see them make 3 or 4 videos and then they're like, it's not working. I'm like, dude,
Right.
I made videos with Jazz for like 3 years before anyone cared.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a bit like me with my workout videos at the minute, to be fair. I've been pretty
No,
hit and miss with
I
those.
love your workout videos. Your
Like, yeah,
workout
I'm gonna
videos
keep
have
up
been
with them.
awesome. No,
Oh,
don't
do you
stop.
like
Please
them?
don't. I actually love them because I'll tell you why. Because it's really nice to have variety right now with COVID and needing to like figure out what to do. And like Zoom classes are cool sometimes, but sometimes I don't feel like logging in. And like the regular, you know, class, if I like search for something on YouTube, like that's great for 5 minutes. But it's so nice to like put your stuff into the mix because it feels so real. And I love that you're also doing it. Like the worst.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't.
that's what I wanted people to feel like, because
Yeah.
we only do one take of it. Like I just filmed the workout, so I'm sweating and I am breathing. I put music over, but it's like so in the breaks or whatever at the end, when people are like, "Oh my word, that was like really tough" or whatever, like I want you to know that that's how you should feel.
Yep.
You know, rather than just demonstrating 5 movements and just be like,
Exactly.
you know,
That's my
get on
biggest
with it or
gripe with
whatever.
trying to find other classes that I can follow along with like that, because that's why I love yours so much, because like, for example, I follow along with an app while I run on the treadmill, and it's like kind of like Peloton-y type classes, but for running. And, you know, the guy will be like, okay, great. Now sprint. We got a 30-second or 45-second sprint. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, at that point, he's like hopped off to the side of his treadmill and he's just like standing there yelling at me about sprinting. And I'm like dying while he's not doing anything. And I'm like, I don't know if this is the vibe I can always go for. So I really do like that you do. I think you should keep doing them. They're awesome.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
But that's what keeps me going sometimes, you know, too. You know, like what's built Hustle and what's built us and what's built the brand and everything and the YouTube is just consistency. Like this year, the amount of times I've gone, oh man, I don't know what to make a video about, you know, and I'll sit there and I'll go through freaking memes and I'll go through Instagram and try and find stuff and I'll try and find news and everything and I'll try and put a 7-minute video together 3 times a week minimum. I'm like, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm sticking to. That's what's going to continue to like build us, you know, and that like sometimes you just got to get it done. Do I like making videos? Oh, I freaking love making videos. Do I like making videos in lockdown every day, trying to find stuff? Not really. But I do it because it's like I couldn't have life any other way.
Yeah.
You know?
To be honest, the consistency is like the main thing, which is it's an attribute that Craig has definitely a lot more than I do, and it's something that, you know, I do appreciate about him. It's, you know, even when nobody was watching or nobody cared, or even when the views dip because, I don't know, the title wasn't very good or there's literally nothing going on in the world or whatever it might be, like he still does it. He still gets on with it. He still comes up with something, and like nothing has ever put you off towards what you wanted the end goal to be. So yeah, there probably will be a Lambo on the drive one day.
I
just
love
haven't
it.
quite figured out how yet.
Then we'll revert back to this podcast and be like, see, I told you, did it?
That would
30
be
years
great.
time.
Yeah, who cares how long it takes? You'll get one at some point. That's
and I said to
great.
Jazz too, you know, because obviously I've been looking at them. I've been looking at them a lot because we haven't got much else to do.
Yeah.
But obviously you lose a lot of money on Lambos, right? You just do. And I'm like, look, Jazz, if we're going to get one, I want to drive it. I want it to be my Lambo. I don't care how many miles I put on it. I don't care how much it depreciates. I'm not going to be one of those people that buys it, puts it on the drive and says, we're saving it because we're saving money on it. I'm like, no, I want to drive it around. I want it to be loud. I want it to be black and red. And I want to play like, move, bitch, get out the way. Like when I'm driving along, you know?
Hell yeah.
And that's it.
Totally. I get
Whilst
that.
Carla hangs out the window.
Yeah.
She would love it.
Oh my word, she really would. She is such a dude, I swear. She loves hanging out the car window.
We put
And
little
on the
goggles
way-
on her.
Yeah, on the way back from the walk, like when she's a bit more chilled and not quite so like trying to jump out the car, she literally just sits there with her arm on the window, just
hey,
chilling,
come
wind
here
blowing
often.
in her ears, just like yeah, she's so cool.
I
Yeah.
love
Bless
it.
her. I love having the puppy. The puppy's the
You know,
best.
when I started a company in 2020, which was an insane idea, but things have been going well, so no complaints. But I did the same thing. I set like a lofty goal, not as lofty as a Lambo, but still, I had decided that because my mom is like my ideal goal life in terms of like bougie fancy ladies, because that's like who she is. And she likes really nice things and she works really hard and she can do whatever she wants because she's a bad bitch. and she's like the reason why any like nice things I have in my life, she has purchased for me, which I have like always appreciated. Because back when I was a journalist, I made like minimum wage. So I have like a lovely like Louis Vuitton purse that she bought for me. And it was such a fun experience, like going to the store and they serve you champagne back when you could like not, you could like drink in public and not have a mask on. And I had always said to myself when I first started this company, I was like, I know I'm going to hustle, if you will. And I'm right now even working like 12 hours a day, 14 hours a day, which is insane. But I was like, my goal or my first mark of success is going to be when I can take her to the Louis Vuitton store and just like take her on a fucking shopping spree. Like that's going to be like my first mark of like, okay, shit is going really well. And I'm going to like do something epic and spend a whole bunch of money on things that are like fancy and out of my range right now because I can, especially for someone who's done it for me in the past. So I'm a huge fan of setting those kinds of goals because you're just like, you have something to work toward. And it's like something that is going to bring you so much joy that when you get there, you're like, fuck yeah, let's get to the next marker. Like, now I want 2 Lambos, like whatever, who cares?
Yeah. And then Jazz can follow me.
Yeah, you guys can have like a Lambo parade. And then I'll put one on my list and I'll bring it over there and we'll make like a 3.
And we can all cruise around.
Yeah,
We've never really that's one thing that's never like the Lambo thing is like a cool thing. Like that's one thing I've always wanted to like growing up as a kid and everything. But like fancy clothes, I've never been bothered about. Like just like, what do you want for Christmas? I'm like, well, nothing really. I'm pretty chill. Like
No, you said a Lambo.
Yeah, but that's the only thing that like, I'm working towards. But like,
not realistic.
I'm not a fancy clothes dude. I'm not I'll get a good few pairs of trainers, but I'm not one of those sneakerheads that will drop money on anything. So when we make money, a lot of the time, it's just kind of like we don't really spend it on anything because there's nothing. If I want something like now, like we're working towards a Hustle Made Parker coat, like a nice anorak one, because I want it to look how I would want to wear it and go out there and be more fashion. We've also got like Hustle Made chinos in the thing because I'm going to make them how I would want to wear them in my sort of fashion. So then you end up not wanting to go to any of these places or get any of these fancy brands because I'm just like, I want to make the sickest clothes that I'm going to look the sickest in because it's going to be the sickest clothes. So that's more exciting for me.
Well, if you make any fine leather purses, let me know because that'll be right up my alley.
I feel like I'll need to. Maybe you can help design them because that's way out of my league.
I'm available. I'm like, everything I need is on my phone. I don't take anything with me anymore. Maybe my ID if I need to buy wine. But other than that, I'm just,
She still gets ID'd. You have to be 18 to buy alcohol, right? So that means literally you're 17 and you get ID'd. And she got ID'd the other day.
Yeah, I think because people have been sneaky, like trying to, like with the face masks and everything, they've been trying to like, there was a few stories in the news that were quite funny. These like girls dressing up as grannies and putting their face masks on and whatever. So there was me at the counter just trying to, and like I had other stuff as well. I wasn't just going for wine.
Listen,
and then she was like, "Do you have your ID?" I was like, "I'm 30 years old." She was like, "I still need your ID." She was like, "Oh, you are. Congratulations."
Look, we're missing the point here. We're missing the total point here. John, what do you want when you've made it?
All right, first of all, I got to talk on the ID thing. I went through the other day. This is a true story. And they didn't ID me, but I could see where they're punching my age in the year. And she punches in 1955. And I'm like, listen, bitch, you better try again because you are not close.
55. Did you have a mask on?
Yeah, but still.
Well,
come on. I don't look 90. Look at this. This is not a 90 forehead. All right.
No, it's definitely not. You are putting those Botox bitches to shame.
Yeah, I know.
Sure.
What am I working toward? Well, I mean, I've already got the dream Volkswagen, so what else do I need?
Hey.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the Hustle Made line of tennis shoes to come out. That's what I'm waiting on.
Okay.
I mean,
shoes is a completely different game. We were looking at like not to do them, but we're looking at shoes, and it's like there's so much regulations around having a decent shoe.
Where's Bean?
Oh, Bean, I'll get him in a few minutes. He's sleeping.
He's out here asking the tough question.
We are asking
important questions.
I'll tell
you. Light bulb moment. I was like, hang on here. Where is?
We'll get Bean in a minute. I think I'm like you, Craig. Like I don't need a lot of stuff. Like I'm not a fancy clothes guy. I'm not even a fancy car guy. Like I've got a lot of guitars, so that's kind of fun. But I've got teenage daughters, so that's where all my money goes. Like every penny. It's great. At my home gym now that I've figured I'm never leaving the house again, I'm just buying
Mm.
gear hand over fist. So it's
Is
ridiculous.
there not like a cream of the crop, like super fancy $1 million guitar that you would buy if you like had all the money in the world?
No, I've got a short list of guitars that I want, and I've got obviously a big list that I already have. I'm just trying to get it down to a group that I really like. If that makes sense.
Mm.
So we'll see. I'm just kind of enjoying my hobbies right now. I'm happy with just having what I have in the home gym and the few guitars that I have, and just kind of living a simple life and just stockpiling my meme millions.
The me
Yeah.
millions.
The meme
Those
millions.
impressions, just stock in the impressions.
Yes,
That's all it is.
exactly. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us. I know
this
it's
was
our
fun.
big time difference is kind of weird for us, but I'm glad we were finally able to work it out. So
Yeah,
everyone-
definitely. Thank you very much for having us.
anytime. And Nikki, you look great in your hustle gear as usual.
Likewise. Where's your
Hello.
hustle gear, you guys? Did you
Yeah,
guys
you-
not come on this
Now, this
podcast
is
in your
like-
own
this,
gear?
no, this is one that might be coming soon. It's like a prototype. It's like, because I always say we don't quit, so then this is like.
I've got my jumper on that Craig got me for Christmas.
And look,
which
it
has
looks like she's
got-
talking to the microphone.
It's a
She does.
puppy. It's my puppy.
I
It's our
love
little baby
that.
Carla. So yeah,
I love it.
I thought, I wouldn't overdo. We've got the little sign at the back.
There you
So
go.
I
Perfect.
wouldn't.
I'm gonna end
Gentle
this podcast
touch.
then with a funny story for people that have made it.
Oh,
Do it.
please.
This is
Perfect.
a story of Bali. You know which one I'm going to talk about
Oh
now, don't
no,
you?
you don't have to tell people this.
Well, Bali. Have you ever been to Bali?
No, I'm dying to. It's on my list. It's on my
it's a
bucket
beautiful
list.
place. Like
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
Amazing.
You go to these gorgeous villas that cost nothing. You eat incredible food that costs nothing. Like it's so damn romantic, right? So we go. We're obviously having a romantic time. We've both got a nice tan. Everything's good. Like I get up in the morning. I'm like, wow, the sun's coming through the glass. You see the swimming pool shimmering. Like you're in this walled little thing, and like the cleaner's already been. She's got a little offering on the floor, smoking on fire. I'm like, Jazz, I'm just gonna go toilet. So just normal morning toilet, right? Come out of the toilet, right? And I'm like, I smile at Jazz. I look into her eyes, right? I'm looking at her. I'm like, wow, like this is amazing. And I'm like, I'm just gonna let off a fart, right? Just for banter,
As
just
you do.
because,
As
because
you do.
you know,
Just
like you're comfortable enough after 5
Yeah,
years
of
to
course.
go. I'm just going to drop one and laugh about it. So what happens is I push, right,
Uh-oh.
and I end up shitting myself
Of course. Of course.
without her realizing that I've done it. Like it was like one of those
You
ones that
just-
wasn't like a big one. It was just like a mini one. And I'm looking at her direct in the eyes, right? And she then realizes that I'm panicking. Full blown
I was
panicking.
like, babe, what's the matter? You look a
Are
bit sheepish.
Are you okay?
And he was just
My
like,
God.
And I didn't know what to do in that moment. I didn't know whether to tell her or not. And I had a brief 2 seconds, which probably felt like 3 minutes for me. And I just go, Jazz, I've shat myself in front of you. And just walked back into the bathroom.
And
probably
that's
the
when
most
you knew
romantic
you
moment.
made it.
Yes.
That was the moment you knew.
Yeah, that was
Ah,
I mean, we laugh about that still
we
now.
were like, right, okay, well, let's just buy the forever house then. We'll seal
Yeah.
the deal.
Yeah, it's done.
is-
He's the one.
Oh,
We're basically married.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
He's
exactly
himself in
it.
front of me.
Yeah.
wow.
He's amazing.
Oh my
I'm
god.
pretty sure you told everyone that
Yeah.
story.
Everybody gets one. I think everybody gets one moment where you shit yourself in life. That's what I think. Everybody
Yeah, I was
gets
in
one.
full
If you
control,
had
like not full
two,
control, but I didn't even feel like I had a bad stomach. That was the issue.
oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I was like, well, that teaches you for trumping in my space, doesn't it? So,
Yeah.
you know.
You may want to get that
Lessons maybe
checked
learned.
out at some point.
Oh,
Anyway,
not-
everyone's quickly turning the
Yeah.
podcast off, like,
And-
what is this got to?
And now that I know everyone gets one, Nikki, you better pick the right podcast to do it on. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, I've already had mine.
Oh, on the podcast? Great.
No. Episode 34. No.
Yes.
What's
No,
your poo
I have-
story?
I was
No,
sick.
we're not going into
That was
this.
my thing. Oh, are we
We'll
all
share it
like,
now.
No,
we can all
we'll
share-
save
That's
we'll
it.
save those for the next
save it,
episode.
but I would just like to say that mine was not like an accidental. Mine was like, oh, I'm ill.
Yeah.
I'm having
I must have been ill.
problems.
It wasn't accidental, it was on purpose. I need to hear the story, but we're not going to tell it today. So
Deal. will. We'll do
All
it on a
right.
future episode.
Well, thanks, guys. It's been super fun as always. And I'll never forget this story now. So thank you.
No worries.
So, all right. For everyone
Guys,
listening,
we
we're
miss you.
we miss you too.
Well,
And for everyone
likewise.
listening, we appreciate you guys joining us, and we will talk to you guys soon.